Leonie Dawson refuses to be categorized. The podcast. Welcome back, my darling humans. And today we're diving in with another business success series installment. This is number 3. And today we're going to be talking about how to sell more with blogging. Whee! Now, if you'd like to look at all of the writing about this and get the free checklist that comes with this, go to leoniedawson.com/biz, B-I-Z, 3, the number 3. leoniedawson.com/biz3. So if you've missed previous business success series posts, you can find them here on the podcast. You can also find them on my blog. The first one was about finding your ideal client, and the second one was about becoming an online networking and mastermind pro. So today's episode is all about another way to market your business, because here's the thing. Once you know who is your ideal client, you need to go and find them. Don't be sitting around waiting for them to find you. You've got to be proactive. You've got to find the people out there that you were born to help and serve. So, what's a blog for those who are unaware? Let's get back to basics. A blog is a website that includes regularly updated content on a range of topics. Most websites also have static pages, which are like your about page, your content page, your contact page, which doesn't really get updated that often, as well as some form of blog or regularly updated articles or news, as well as pages dedicated to free and paid for content. Over the years, there's been a bunch of talks a bunch of times about the death of blogging, which to this day still makes me giggle snort through my nose hysterically. There will always be a need for websites, and those websites should be updated often, i.e. with a blog. Now, we've talked about this many times. Social media can feel like the be-all and end-all, but I don't think you should be looking at having a social media presence, like a Facebook page, as your only online home. In fact, I think it's pretty bloody foolish to do that. Here's the thing. Social media outlets will always go in and out of fashion. You do not own the environments that they're in, and it's not easy to create an archive of the content that you create there. What's more, as business owners are discovering, the rules within those environments are constantly changing, and they are not in the business's favor. Social media platforms aren't there to help you make as much money as possible. They are there to make you pay as much as possible to them. Social media is definitely a more temporary, ephemeral arrangement. Now, if you'd like to learn more about marketing without social media, I have a whole course on that. Go to leoniedawson.com/marketing. So I want to give you some reasons about why you need to consider a blog. Firstly, it shows that you're a fucking professional with an actual business, not just a Facebook page. It means that you have an online space that you can craft as a guided journey for people to discover your work and dive deeper into it with you. A blog can help teach people more about what you do. You can use it as a place to cross-publish content that you share elsewhere online to create a great searchable archive. That searchable archive is hugely important because it means that you get better results for search engine optimization, and you get to keep that content and make it work for you over and over again. A blog can also help you create lots of great free content so that potential customers get to know you and trust you and understand what you have to offer. And you will have your own domain name that is yours to keep forever, even when you change servers. You can keep on promoting with that baby until the end of time. You can use your blog in various ways. You can use your blog to answer questions that people have, teach them why your products and services are important, demonstrate how it will help them, educate them about why they should invest in you, build trust in you and your business, show the behind the scenes of your company, and create a story that's powerful and loved by your audience. Your blog can become the linchpin, the sanctuary, the place where prospects are turned into customers, those customers are turned into raving fans, and your loyal audience is born. Now, let's talk about some ways to become a blogging pro. It's really easy to get caught up in blogging and looking at measurements of success that aren't helpful. Cough, cough, social media is a big one of this. If you're blogging to build a business, you absolutely should be using it as a central funnel to get people onto your mailing list. It's so important. When you have a mailing list, it becomes a major business asset, far more than having blog followers or a certain amount of Facebook likes or follows. People on your mailing list are 40 times more likely to buy from you than anyone else. 40, that's 40. It's a way for you to keep in contact with the people who are interested in you and your offerings and are waiting for the right moment to dive deeper into working with you. So make sure your blog is doing its job of getting people onto your mailing list. You also want to make it as easy as possible for people to share your blog posts along, like having social media share or email share buttons at the beginning or end or both of blog posts. You can answer people's questions in your blog posts. Use photos as much as possible in blog posts to break up text and appeal to both folks who like words and peeps who like pictures. You want to use images with the header title on it at the top of the post. That way, when people share it on social media, it'll automatically show up with a great visual that's easy for people to read. And I get asked about this a lot, so let me answer it here. It's up to you whether you want to have comments or not on your blog. Unless you really, really enjoy the interaction you get there, or unless you have a business model of selling advertising on your blog, I'd suggest not having comments. Why? Well, in my experience, it adds an extra level of admin to your business, and you can kind of get writer's block if you feel like you're not getting enough comments or the right kinds of comments. So my suggestion would be to experiment with turning comments on and off and see what works for you and your business. If you feel like you get a lot out of it, and so does your community, go for it. Otherwise, nix them. Now, if your primary business model is selling advertising on your blog, you're going to want to have comments on and a commenting policy in place. Why? Well, because you're in the job of increasing your page views and your traffic as much as possible, commenting increases page views. And weirdly enough, especially if people start arguing in comments. Weird, I know, but that's the truth of the matter. So you can try out a mixture of posts to see what's a good fit for you to create or for your team to create for you and see what your peeps dig. So for example, you could try short posts, long posts, posts where you answer questions, how-to, tutorial posts, videos, photographs, and behind-the-scenes stories. You can really trust your gut on how and what you would like to share. Some people want to share only information directly related to their industry and their offerings, and that's totally fine. Some like to weave their own personal story and sharings in there too, which can be a powerful way for people to relate to you and grow their trust in you. Plus, it's also a wonderful way of practicing vulnerability and authenticity in your life. So go with what you're comfortable doing right now. It can always change over time, and you can always experiment and see how it feels. Now, if you'd like a free worksheet to help you figure out what to blog about, just head on over to leoniedawson.com/biz3 and you can download the free worksheet there. So let me share with you how I've used blogging in my own business. I've been blogging since 2004. It was the thing that really started my business. I started sharing my writings and my art online as just a creative outlet for myself. And I was astonished when I discovered that people besides my best friend read my blog. Through the process of blogging and feedback from my small but growing list of followers, I started finding my own voice and what I wanted to share with the world. And my offerings organically kind of evolved from that process. I began using my blog to promote my offerings, direct people onto my mailing list, find my peeps, build trust so they become customers, and build lasting connections. I'm amazed at how many of my current colleagues and friends and fans have been reading my blog for over a decade now. that is a pretty solid and loyal connection right there. And 17 years on since I started blogging, those 4 results still continue. I still use it to promote my offerings. I still direct people onto my mailing list. I still use it as a way to find people and turn them into customers and build those beautiful, lasting connections. For me, I write at least 1 post a week. At the moment, it's up to about 5 times. But like, I'm really happy to do less as well, if I'm not like feeling as creatively juiced up. So how much I blog has varied hugely over the years. I used to blog multiple times a week when I first started out, and then I started writing 1 longer, well-written, thought-out article every week. And I still do that, but I found that I actually really enjoy writing, writing more than once a week. I also make sure that I do 1 great pillar article every week that's designed to be as useful as possible, that I can send to my mailing list, and for it to be shared as much as possible. I do this by making sure it's got a fantastic heading that draws people in, keeping a long list of questions people ask me so they can be turned into blog posts, using images within a blog post to illustrate them, making sure I use headings, bullet points, and bolding in blog posts to make them as easily readable as possible, giving quality and useful content that actually fucking helps people. Let me say that again, because it's actually the most fucking important thing out of this whole article, is giving quality, useful content that actually fucking helps people. That's the whole key to success. And of course, I want to make sure that I'm as authentic, as honest as I can, that I'm speaking in my own voice and flying my own freak flag. Now, if you do find yourself copying other people's style too much, just ban yourself from reading their blogs or their work until you get comfortable with your own voice and how you want to create and write and appear in the world. So I've done a whole bunch of different kinds of blogging over the years. I've done mostly longer written blog posts because I tend to prefer writing. I occasionally do video blog posts. I used to do them more when I was active on social media, but it's not my one true love, even though I am fucking hilarious on video, let's be real, and I have a collection of amazing hats for it. I occasionally do larger list types of blog posts, like my top books every year and my goals for the year. I started this podcast and do a companion blog post for each podcast episode. My pillar weekly article is designed specifically to help my target market, usually on a topic like self-development, productivity, money, business, e-course, also all those things. I also write more personal posts sharing the soul lessons of like challenges in my life, and also like the deeper human stuff, for example, my autism story and resources about that. So if you go to leoniedawson.com/autism, you can find out all about that. And I really trust my gut about what I want to share from my personal life. Over time, it's completely evolved and it will keep on changing. I just keep checking in with myself about what I'm happy to share about. And it's like, so for example, when my kids were really little, I was very happy to share photographs of them and stories about them online, and now I don't. And I also don't really share photographs of my husband as much online either, because I just want to respect their own personal privacy, and I want to make sure that they have a childhood that's their own to define. I also use blogging as a way to promote my programs and products. So for example, if I have an upcoming program that I want to promote, I'll write blog posts about that topic for the month leading up to it. And on each blog post during that month, I'll include an ad image for the program, or write a post script like, P.S. Do you want to dive deeper into this work and get your business earning more moolah? The Sales Star Masterclass is your next step. Click here to find out more and sign up. And sometimes I'll even do a countdown timer on there as well, because that can be really useful. That can be really useful just to get people going like, oh fuck, I only have like a short amount of time here to actually do the fucking thing. I better do that thing. Now, if you want more extra blogging resources, I do have my Marketing Without Social Media course. That's at leoniedawson.com/marketing. That's specifically when you want to do it without social media. If you need to learn how to sell more and do better sales pages and do better marketing, my Sales Star Masterclass is the right one for you. So go to leoniedawson.com/sell. Now, there's an older book that I really like called Content Rules by Handley and Chapman. There's also a really good old blog post from Smart Passive Income called Pillar Blog Post. You can find the link over on leoniedawson.com/biz3. And I also have an old blog post called How to Make Your Blog Post Viral, Compelling, and Full and Lovable, all about how to be more vulnerable when you write and share. And I just want you to remember, most of all, you don't need to niche yourself. You don't need to bracket yourself into one topic or one area. I write about fucking everything. I write about business, marketing, art, life, my experience with being neurodivergent, mental health, family, and everything in between. I just want you to know that you've got this, and I really want to see you share your voice and make magic in the world. And whatever you do, start now. Don't wait a day longer. You've got this, and I believe in you. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-bow.